Watercolors 12. This is the 12th edition of the Portrait Sketch in Oil Colors series. So we're going to proceed with business as usual. I'm just adding a little bit of odorless mineral spirits to a 9x12 inch cotton canvas panel. This is going to allow my drawing color to be relatively slick, but I don't want to put too much such that it would kind of get all over the place. So I'm going to mix up black and cadmium red. That's kind of my preferred drawing color for these quick sketches, but I'll also use that color mixture for starting a long pose. Hey Markel, good evening. Alright, so top of the head, bottom of the head. We're going to include some of the flowers in the model's hair. Back of the head. So this is roughly where I'm going to place the face. The face is in profile. Well, close to profile. We see like right there. Just a little bit of the corner of the model's face. Bottom of the nose will fit approximately over there. Mouth over here. Chin right over there. Eye socket over here. This eye is over here. This eye is over here. No measuring just yet. Or maybe no measuring at all. We'll see how that goes. Alright, so top of the head, now over here. Hey Christopher, what's going on? Shoulders land over there. Shadow shape the chin. Now we can go ahead and block in some dark. Blocking in some shadows. This reference again is from a copyright-free source. I think it's from Pixabay. Sometimes I'll take them from Unsplash. Now I know that I'm going to incorporate the background. As these sketches have evolved, I've ended up putting more and more of the background along with the face. Alright, so that's alright. That's something I can work with drawing wise. So I hope everyone had a good weekend. Today is a Monday. So happy Monday to everybody. Some of y'all love it, some of y'all hate it. But Monday is Monday. All right, before too long, let me actually remember to turn this light on. There we go. You can see a little bit better. Okay, so now I'll add a little bit more black. Hey Gigi. Black, alizarin, a little bit of phthalo green. Again, don't worry about the colors. I have kind of a combination of alkyds and regular oil paints, but you can get this easily with just adding more black to the black and red mixture. Leaving some room for the flowers. backside of the flowers will fit over there. Shadow shape over here. And by now, the mineral spirits that I put on here started to evaporate. Alright, so before I go into the skin tones, I'm going to add something for the background. I typically use kind of like the back corner of my palette over here for background colors. So I'm going to use white. I'm going to thin out the color with a little bit of spike lavender. Though, y'all, I'm actually running low on spike lavender. So I might swap it out with Gamsol's solvent-free fluid. I have not tried it yet, so I don't know. I'll let you know how that works. I want something for the background over here, and I'm going to leave that so I can rest my pinky. What I like about using the spike lavender is it's a little bit easier on the air. Of course, I have my Shiba Inu with me, like, all the time, so I want to make sure that he is safe. I don't have a ton of mineral spirits out, but just a little bit. I would advise to use caution with mineral spirits and only have the smallest little jar that you can have. Yeah, I've had that spike lavender for a long time. I don't want it to run out, but I am low on it, so yeah, I'm gonna use this solvent-free fluid from Gamblin'. I don't know if it'll work out, but I don't know, I'll try it anyway. Alright, so now I think we're in a good enough spot. I can start to add a skin tone. I will use this as a shadow tone brush. I went to Paint From Life over the weekend, and I used my regular paints, the ones I'm using right now. But because that was on a Saturday, I didn't use my regular paints until now. I put them in my Stay Wet palette box. I took everything out of it. It's actually a really good box to store stuff if you want an airtight storage space. Alright, so something down there for that. Let's see if this can serve as my shadow tone brush. I think it can. Yeah, I got some big studio paintings that I'm doing. The setup at the place where I went to go paint from life, the setup was pretty neat, so I started with just like a compositional sketch. I posted it on Instagram, and I'm gonna do a bigger version of it. But soon I'm actually gonna do like a bigger, more professional looking painting of Lucy for some competitions in 2026. Without all the crazy stuff, you know how with my studio paintings I like adding some pets and some reptiles and things like that. I'll tame it down a little bit, just a little bit for competition painting. So remember, everybody, this is an improv painting session. They're very short, relatively speaking, only about no more than 2 hours. Today it's going to be less than that, I'm thinking, just because I started a little late. Thanks for all the likes, everybody. Switching gears to the skin tones. Started watching Obi-Wan on Disney Plus the other day. I wasn't a big fan of like the new stuff that they did with Star Wars, but I feel like everybody's a little too hard on them. They did all right. I mean, I'm not really too keen on like what they did to Luke, but I get it. That's a new generation. I don't know, just random stuff. Like I told you, these are very improv painting sessions. Improvising. Improvising. I'm improvising with this one. And with all of them. Kind of interesting. I just painted a part of a flower crown this morning on a studio painting, so I'm kind of in the moment, I guess, with painting these little floral adaptations to these paintings. They're remarkably simple if you focus on light and shadow, big shapes like that, and they're really darn simple. I can't begin to tell you how simple they are. Just like this, just a few little things of light and dark, and all of a sudden, hey, it's a flower crown looking thing. Super simple. Using lead white for everything. I have kind of modified my lead primer. I added a little bit of alkyd from the oleo gel, that natural pigments sells, to kind of slow it down. Oleo gel and alkyd together, they even out to kind of what you would expect drying time from your regular everyday normal lead white would be. So it's kind of working out. It's all good. I put it in a jar and took it with me to the painting session, so it would appear that I have come up with a setup that kind of works. I have enough of the lead primer that I am going to mix it in with some safflower oil and perhaps some walnut oil for the later stages of my paintings, so that they dry a little bit more slow. Working with lead paint is not really as dangerous as you would think. As long as you take the proper precautions, it's no more dangerous than titanium. If you don't take the proper precautions, every paint is going to be toxic. Acrylic, watercolor, gouache. A painter that takes the proper precautions, that uses lead, will be safer than the painter that doesn't take proper precautions and uses titanium. At the end of the day, you don't need the lead. You just don't need it. I just ran out of titanium white, and I don't want to buy more paint if I don't have to. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the reasoning for it. If I had titanium, I would use it. But because I use so much paint, and when you paint every day, the color you go through the most is white. That's the color you will go through the most because you mix it in with everything. Unless you're painting, I don't know what you could be painting that doesn't use that, but pretty much everything. But yeah, I've modified this. Hey, come here. Thank you, thank you. Gosh, this is the 12th edition of these sketches now, everybody. And I must tell you, after spending all this time with these quick sketches, I'm not as careful with the placement of the mouth or the eyes as I used to be. Actually, as you noticed, I've been locking in on the nose, even with this almost profile view. I'm locking in with the nose. That's the easiest spot for me these days. And I'm not saying it's going to be something that's going to work for everybody, but you just gotta try different stuff. Hey Betty, Marion, welcome. Once again, appreciate the likes, everyone. Like and subscribe. You know, all that stuff that I'm supposed to say. Alright, so this approach to painting, I'm very much winging it. And if I were to try to break it down into a super step-by-step, the best way to explain it to you is everything you do, everything you think about, let it be geared towards light and shadow specificity. But once you get to a point where you're comfortable enough throwing down paint, try to experiment a little bit with your mindset, the brain. So for example, I'm letting go of pretty much all of my fears of like placing the mouth in the wrong spot, placing the eyes or something just incorrectly. And I'm kind of just letting the paint move. Just letting the paint flow. Not flow as in progressive, but just letting the paint move. Letting the color kind of have a life of its own. This is how you can transition from working strictly from photographs to kind of like the pace that you would working from life. Though working from life, going to these painting sessions that I've been going to, I gotta say I didn't know that some some artists would take as long as they do to get light and shadow or just outlines, but then when they do it, man, is it perfect. Different temperament. Hey Monica, thanks for watching from South Africa. Different temperament. Yes, I would say that too. The visual acuity or visual intelligence I was talking about before. Uh, the higher your visual IQ is, the more accurate you'll be able to judge distances without measuring. Yes, this is true. Well, at least what I've been told. As I know it, that's so when you paint without drawing careful outlines, it's a double-edged sword. You can get a lot of stuff down quickly like this, but then you've got to know how to push things around with your paint handling, so you can't get too attached to anything. So as much as the visual IQ is important, there also has to be a sense of I want to say forgiveness within yourself, because the best painters in the world with the highest visual acuity possible are still going to move things around. But technique is the bridge between talent and lack of talent. Like for me, I have a huge lack of talent when it comes to drawing lines in the exact spot over time, and I think it's just kind of like a 90s baby thing, like kind of like the ADD, ADHD or whatever. Like I have to move around even when I start something. And I posted something on Instagram where there was a big figure painting that I started, and I just went no outlines and just went straight into the background. And I posted it as a story, so it's gone now. But I went in with white chalk later to correct stuff. Kind of in the spirit of happy accidents. We don't make mistakes, we just have happy accidents. Well, in portraiture, there are mistakes. There are mistakes. But the happy accident is always going to be how you learn from the mistake or how you adapt your shapes. Awesome, Jonas. Yeah, it's a very difficult subject, really, the visual IQ, because people that have, or some people are just naturally born with it, like they have a higher visual acuity from the get-go. It can be very unmotivating when it takes us longer than it took, like, I don't know, someone else in a classroom that studied with you, and it can be, and this is where I'll get a little bit more into the psychology even though I've only taken one psychology class in my life, so obviously I ain't the person to talk to about psychology, but something I learned from playing pool for so many years, as in 3 years, not that much, but something I've learned a little bit about sports psychology is that the more you dwell on shoulda, coulda, woulda thinking, like, if I had started doing this when I was 18, 17, if I had started doing this when I was 12, or like, man, if I had just a little bit more skill, like this person that got like 1,000 more views or 1,000 more likes, and like, if you start comparing yourself, it's time to change your mindset a little bit. And everyone's gonna do it. Everybody's gonna do it. But it's one of the things that'll get in the way. But I'm here to tell you that it's gonna happen. Don't feel bad if you did that. If you got, I don't know, unmotivated because your friend's painting got more likes than you, or they just were a little bit better at values or colors or whatever. Because we all go through it. I go through it all the time. You'll know that I'm going through it when I don't post for a long time. I'm just kind of sitting and dwelling on it. But you're not alone in that kind of feeling, and that gets in the way of visual acuity, because sometimes we don't reach our full potential in a painting session because simply our heads get in the way. And that's what I got from playing pool, is like the focus. We lose focus when our minds get in the way. Yes, it's the same as spatial awareness, but I think spatial awareness is a little bit more like 3D in terms of like sports and like stuff like that. But yeah, it's the same thing. Being able to work with shapes. But let me tell you something about portraiture. As someone who has been doing portraiture for a long time, people tend to look the same. And that's not just because we generalize the way people look, but no, people tend to look the same. And the differences between them, between person A and person B, ends up being something that you can see and feel as you're working and plan it into your approach, rather than something that you have to dwell upon. We all tend to look pretty similar. We can all be painted with the same palette. Artist block, oh, of course, artist block is a thing. And that's when those, sometimes it's just because there's too much that we want to do, as opposed to like not figuring out what we want to do, but we want to do so much. That's where I'm at right now. I just have so much that I want to do. So little time. There's so little time in the day from when I wake up and from when I go to bed. So little time that I get to paint from life, but every time I do, I feel that much stronger with my not painting from life. Yeah, so what I guess what I'm trying to get out of this, or tell everybody, is technique is a means to an end, but it's also a lifelong pursuit. And it's a left brain, right brain struggle. Sometimes we have to focus on one or the other. This right here, this ain't analytical. This is not um, right brain that much. This is mostly left brain, where I didn't measure anything. I just threw down some colors and decided I would just kind of figure it out from there, which is how I want to paint, to be honest. It's just not in my personality to carefully measure too much. Some, like for example, if your career, if you're in a position where you're very analytical, very highly organized, if you're like a CPA, if you're like a certified public accountant, if you're a surgeon, if you're like a doctor, or I don't know, like if your job requires you to have like extreme structure and you're cool with that, like your painting approach should be determined not by what instructor A or instructor B tells you, but how you can prioritize your method to fit your personality. And we all kind of vary a little bit. Sometimes our personality is like, all right, go, 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 highly organized. Sometimes not so much. Our neurons, our axons and dendrites, they're kind of fluid. We're always learning as life goes on. Even when we're older, neuroplasticity is still a thing. So be open to change as well. But yeah, after 12 iterations of this portrait sketch in oil colors, I think I'm finally starting to kind of get into like an ease, I guess, with it. It's getting a little bit easier. And you know what they say, it doesn't get any easier, you just get better. So little improvements here and there are expected with anything that you commit a lot of time to. So where's everyone at? We've got I think eight people here. Where in the world are you located? And if anyone is from or somewhere near Northern Virginia and you want to paint together, let me know. It would be nice to paint with someone, go to do some plein air with a friend, or go to that portrait painting group in Lorton. I'm not sure if you're here, but shout out to the one guy I ran into you in the grocery store in Maryland when I visited over the weekend, so I guess you would know who you are. Don't want to put all your information out there, but it was nice to meet a follower. Just randomly out and about. Alabama. We got Betty from Alabama. Mark's in London. It's nighttime over there. Even if you don't want to comment, that's okay. Now I do know that some folks out here do not like to comment anything out on the internet. Now I understand. So, if that is you, I still say shout out to you, my friends. Don't feel pressured to have to comment or do anything you don't want to. I'm just happy you're here. I can sense your presence. Your presence gives me all the power I need to make a decent painting, portrait painting sketch. (9:15 p.m. over there. Remember, always keep that brush moving. And that's what these sketches are really good for, in case there's any artist block or something. More passion, more energy, more brushwork. Sometimes it's a win if all we're doing is moving that brush around on a painting that we have no clue what we're gonna do with. Sometimes that alone is a win. Every day you get to paint. That is a win. You have won the day. Oh, thanks, Gigi. I'm just happy to have everyone here. I'm feeling quite thankful today. Today is a thankful day. Yeah, And like this little highlight here, you've seen it once, you've seen it again, you're gonna continue to see it in your portrait paintings. No matter who the model is. And there's gonna be some slight differences from one model to another. And just like this plane right here that's always there. It's the side plane of the cheekbone. Zygomatic major, the big one, right up here. You're gonna see it everywhere. It's just gonna be slightly different on one person relative to another. The more you do these things, the more you're gonna see certain patterns repeat themselves. See how the background is just part of the conversation. When I move from one shape to another, sometimes the background's a good place to just kind of take a break from the stuff on the face, the eyes, the nose, the features. Sometimes the background is just kind of a break, especially when you're working from life and you're incorporating the background. Sometimes, when it's a long model session and everybody's working on the face and you're like mostly done with it, incorporate some of the background, and then you'll find something that needed to be changed on the face that you didn't see. And you just took that kind of little break by working on the background. Now this edge is a little tricky, the edge right by the nose. So I want a kind of definitive sharp, maybe some phthalo green and white, a little bit of just that. Incorporate the background into the conversation. You won't be disappointed. And once I've got enough on the face, I'll put something down for the shoulder. It is going to be part of the conversation, part of the composition. Nice little sharp edge here. A little bit of spike lavender. Hey Susan, welcome, welcome. So I'm using black, phthalo green, alizarin crimson, and some spiked lavender. Ooh, I got a lot of Shiba hair on my brush. I guess this painting is going to have special edition Shiba fur. Some fur from a Sheba. Hey Starlight, happy holiday to you. I'm here. I am here today. Okie dokie. I'm gonna add some skin tone to the shoulder. Timing is okay. We're on point here. Still got 30 minutes. We good, we good. Hey Corhan. Angel, welcome, welcome. Thanks, Starlight. I'm glad you liked the painting thus far. in honor of Bob Ross, I'll paint this kind of like how he painted his trees. The lead white gives a lot of texture, so this painting will have texture. Appreciate all the likes, everybody. Thanks for joining the 12th edition. Of the portrait sketch in oil colors. What is that? 12 around yeah, like 24 hours of painting footage. Not exactly 24 because most of them haven't been exactly 2 hours, but we're approaching 24 hours of footage for this series. So you've got plenty of footage to use. So I let the tone of the canvas underneath show through for some of the middle lights, but I will paint some light on the hair. Obviously I know that that has to push to the right. Will I do it? Maybe. Maybe. was gonna get a new brush, but then I decided I'll just reuse this background one here. It froze? Uh-oh. I'm glad it came back. Thanks for letting me know. Whoa, I didn't even pay attention to that. Sorry, it froze. I'm glad it came back, though. Glad it came back. Shadows, not necessarily the same color scheme. I tried to work with color in comparisons. So I'll compare what the color of the light looks like in comparison to the color of the shadow. Like kind of like I would painting from life. I do that even with photo reference. Although sometimes if it's just like a standard face with the usual light scenario, like just a LED light or something not so fancy, just burnt sienna, white, ultramarine blue, but mostly burnt sienna and ultramarine blue will work just fine. But typically I don't try to use a formula for the colors in my own work, but you can simplify it to burnt sienna white, ultramarine blue, and mostly burnt sienna and ultramarine blue for the shadows. I appreciate the question. Sorry, that's probably not much of an answer. Yeah, so I never quite measured at all for anything. And we've got 9 minutes left. So I think it's safe to say we probably won't measure or change much of anything at this point on. From this moment, I shall not measure for this painting. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I think that the lead white mixture that I made with my with my lead white primer and adding a little bit of oleoresin gel, or I think it's oleo gel. I don't know. It's one of the gels from Natural Pigments, but I think I really like this mixture. I put it in a jar. I made it before I went to go paint from life on Saturday morning. This is my second time using it, and I must say I kind of like it. Hey, tour. I hope that's a good thing. Might help me out with Instagram. Oh, right. I almost forgot. So if you want to paint along with this, I will post it as a free post on my Patreon. You don't have to sign up for any classes or anything like that if you don't want to. But I'll post it right after this. We've only got 5 minutes left of the video anyway, but yeah, I almost forgot. If anybody wants to paint along with it, I'll post the reference and the link to this video in my Patreon post. It's free. You don't have to sign up for anything if you don't want to. Oh, awesome, Starlight. Yeah, if you post it on anything, feel free to tag me so I can check it out. But you don't have to if you don't want to, of course. I understand. I had a kind of in-depth conversation with a follower that I met that, yeah, doesn't want me to mention their name, but now I understand that I know that you're there. Some of you are there and participating, but don't want to be in any of the spotlight. That includes posting as well. Now I understand that, so thank you to you. You know who you are. Oh, thank you, Betty. Thank you. I'm glad I make it look easy. And yeah, this will be posted. I gotta keep saying it so I can actually remember to post it to Patreon for free. Remember, it's free. You don't gotta sign up for anything. If you wanna paint along with this, you can. Like I always say, the 2-hour time frame is kind of perfect for this 9x12 portrait sketch. Of course, there's a lot more rendering stuff that I know I can do, but I kind of prioritize the environment a little bit more than I did before. Obviously, the face is still the most, will continue to be the most developed thing. Yeah, Instagram works, yeah. Lucy started a TikTok account, but I have never logged into it. So I don't really know how to use that TikTok. But that works too. Lucy would let me know. Don't forget, I got me a website now, everybody. Link is in the description box of the video, or you can just Google yuparitheartist's website. It should show up, I hope. You can have a custom painting commission. You can commission me there. I've got one double portrait that I'm working on. It's kind of a long and involved one, but I'm always happy to do commissions. Got some paintings for sale. We can always negotiate if you want to. I got a Shiba hair right there. Shiba fur. The 12th edition. Next time will be the 13th edition, which should be tomorrow. I gotta take Hugo to get a dental cleaning, so that might affect things. But if not tomorrow, of course, I'll be here the day after. Remember, the schedule is around 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock DC time zone. These are very improv painting sessions. improvised. Really happy to have you all here as consistently as it has been for some time now. And of course, I will change the thumbnail. I gotta start writing things down so I can remember. But yeah, I've been trying to change the thumbnail after the stream ends to the painting, like the finished painting. Hey, another person online. I'm just doing a painting, just another painting for the series of portrait sketch in oil colors. We are on number 12, about to finish it up soon. But don't worry, we'll be back a couple more times this week. Business as usual. These paintings are for sale, and we can negotiate if anybody wants one of these. Consider them investments for when I become rich and famous. You would have had one of my paintings at a discounted rate. After work hours, yeah, it works. Of course, these are my work hours, so. But yeah, after work hours, weekends. You can always do a pencil sketch of it. I know you was just kidding. Incorporating the background hopefully will help me for we're gonna be making products with these as well. Art prints, postcards, stuff like that. Stuff to that nature. I shall become rich and famous with art. I will. You know, sometimes you just gotta work so hard that it's impossible to not be successful. You just gotta put in so much work that it's impossible to not be successful. You just will be. And I'll have all of you here along the ride with me. Yeah, I've gotten comfortable enough with these portrait sketches that I'm even doing these last minute little changes to the face. Literally the last minute or so that I have. After so many of them. Definitely something has changed in the way I see these paintings from day one till now. Something has changed. Discord? I do not have a Discord. I think I used to. I might still have the account. But, yeah. Patreon's the easiest way to contact me. I don't have anything new that I've been adding to it. Though I do have a figure tier. Actually have a video I haven't uploaded. But you know, we can always discuss these things. No rush, no rush. I had a Twitch once upon a time. The account might still be active, but I just kind of been spending more time with YouTube because the problem I had with Twitch was, I don't know, this was back in 2020. I don't know how it is now, but they delete your videos after a certain number of, I don't know, plays or days or something like that. YouTube, it stays there, and I know how to use YouTube a little bit more. Ain't no expert though, that's for sure. Alrighty, let's sign this one. Gonna sign it right here. Gonna sign it with slightly bigger letters because whoever buys this isn't gonna buy it just because of the face, but because of the name. Thank you, Starlight. Okie dokie, there it is. Signatures on the bottom. On the bottom here. And we actually got this done before Lucy called me. She'll probably call me any second now, but there we go. Thanks so much for all the likes, everybody. Thank you for joining the live stream. As always, I hope you have a great rest of your day or night. And take care, everybody. I shall see you next time.